So I think the last couple of years have really showcased for us that, diversity, equity, and inclusion are not an option anymore. It's critical for business, both internally for your workforce, for your staff, but actually externally as well, because your consumers, people who purchase your products, your services, they're demanding organizations that, align to the values that they align to. So I think it's diversity, equity, and inclusion is of the utmost importance going forward into 2022, but it has to be done in a very different way. It's no longer, something that can be managed from a HR department, or you can just amend policies. It really has to be the culture of any organization for it to succeed. Yeah, so for me, it's a number of different things that I'm hoping to achieve. The first is to ensure equity and inclusion is not just a conversation, but it's embedded across our business, both internally and externally. So from what we do with our staff, but also into the sort of programs, the shows, the movies we create, the games we create, and so on. So that it really becomes part and parcel of what we do, because that's what's going to drive change. It's what's going to not only drive change within our industry, but even more broadly. Movies are powerful. They can form perceptions. They can create views of the wider community. So for us, or for me, it's really, really important that we drive that change and really embed diversity and inclusion across everything that we do. Yeah, allyship is a great thing, but I do think when we explore allyship, we need to understand a few critical points. Number one, allyship goes beyond 1 month. So it's not just about being an ally during Pride, ally during Black History Month. That's a great starting point. It's a great point to learn, to show your visibility, to show that you are supporting a community. But where the role of an ally really comes to light is when that very group that you're championing for is not in the room. When you use your privilege and your power to be an advocate for them. That is the critical part. It's great for someone to be an ally when the group's there, but what you do when they're not in the room, and again, that position of power that you have is critical. The second point, I think, which is really important as an ally, is to remember that a role of an ally is to create a platform and a voice for an underrepresented group, not to replace their voice. Mm-hmm. And I say that because a lot of allies with the best intention end up becoming the voice for the very community they want to support, and you're taking the voice away from them. So those 2 points I think are critical. Number one, support them when they're not in the room, stand up for them, be their voice. But when they are in the room, pass the mic to them. The biggest thing is that diversity is not a singular dimension. And what I mean by that is no person is represented by just one element of diversity. All of us are made up of multiple layers of diversity. What we must acknowledge is what are those unique identities that each person has, from both visible to non-visible, and how they can shift over time. And maybe if I give you an example to put it into perspective, a lot of people talk to me about race because clearly I'm from an ethnic minority background. Race isn't my biggest challenge. It has or can be a challenge sometimes. I've got 2 young kids, huge challenge. I'm neurodiverse, huge challenge. I have a disability, huge challenge. And those things intersect at different stages in my life, depending on what I'm doing. For organizations of the future, we can't assign someone a characteristic when they join. We must allow them to really govern what's important to them at different stages of their life. And things will change, like even something like age diversity. Usually you join very young, so you fall under that category. But by the time you go through your career, you're older. Disabilities, you unfortunately, as you go through life, you sometimes do end up having certain disabilities and not. And same with so many other elements of your unique identity. And I think that piece is a really important piece to acknowledge and understand, that diversity goes beyond singular dimensions. And I think the other big piece is I hear a lot nowadays, generally, because as you know, I speak to a lot of different companies and organizations, and I hear a lot about that diversity is going to disadvantage a certain group, largely the majority within an organization, who feel that because of this diversity staff, they're going to lose out, they're going to miss out, they're not going to get promoted, they're not going to get recruited. The truth is, diversity has never been about taking away from one group and giving to another, or one group getting advantage. It is about equity. And actually, a win in diversity, if we do something positive in diversity, whether it be for gender equity, whether it be for LGBTQ plus community, or whatever group we do it for, it has a positive impact on everyone, because you improve a system, you improve a process. And I think that point's really important, because we do need every single person to understand that they need to be part of this conversation to drive change within an organization.